you อาจารย์พลอย as well นะคะ for inviting us to this section. So I think for my side, I just want to talk a bit about our business. Our company, we started in Singapore in 2009. Actually, this year we're gonna celebrate our 12 years in May. In Thailand, we started in 2012. So roughly like 9 years in Thailand. At the beginning, we start as a game business. I think many of you probably know us as Garena before, and we already changed our name to C. And the three business that we started, if I looking back at the moment, it's been we transformed quite a lot from day one when we entered the business. If any of you play game before, right? 9 years ago, you probably like very young by then, right? 9 years ago for you guys, like I don't know how old you guys now. But for Garena, we start as a PC base. So basically, every game 10 years ago is already based in PC only, and so clearly for hardcore gamer only. And Garena at that time was just a publisher. So to simplify, that is we just license the game and publish only in Southeast Asia. As of today, many of our games, I would say majority of our games are actually mobile based, and we already self-developed the game by ourselves, and we are now globally service across the globe. To explain in a bit why we need to change, right? I think if you look like look back in the past decade, you're probably aware that there's a lot of change based on the technology and all the new technology that can help support many things. So whatever we had in the past that we thought we want to do, we may not be able to do that like 10 years ago, but because of the new technology and things, we were able to do so, like moving all the games to mobile base. If you talk about this 10 years ago, might be a good experience for that. And so we evolve our game business based purely also on the technology side, but at the same time it's also because we know the market, so we know the business so well. We've been doing game business for such a long time, and we know that like eventually if we were just a publisher, we wouldn't have position in the future, right? You're probably aware that this is, I think, is quite a basic thing, right? If you act as a middleman, you couldn't add the value to anything. Like eventually, someday you would be out of the game. So with that in mind, then we develop, we try to self-develop the game starting in year 2000. I think we start our studio in Shanghai in year 2013, 2014. And Free Fire is actually the first game that we developed by ourselves. We spent about 3-4 years to develop this game, and we launched it in about 2016-17, if I'm not wrong. 18, yeah, 18. Yeah, so basically 4 years that we spent just on developing this game, and we just a funny joke, because to share with you, when we developed the Free Fire game, we actually developed it for Southeast Asia market, using our deep understanding of the local market here in Southeast Asia. We try to develop the game that's specific to this market. But when we launched the game, about a quarter after that, we start seeing the growth of our games in Latin America, which is like to our surprise, to our team as well. We didn't expect any pickup trend of our game in Latin America before. So we start to see like what happened there, right? And then so we start. We send the team. I myself also went to Brazil. I think like, yeah, about like 2-3 years ago, just to understand the market, because I think that the strategy that we always try to do is if we want to do business in any market, we need to really understand what the local market look like. So our team went there, and we try to see like what's the trend and what we found from that is many things, many knowledge and experience that we have in Southeast Asia actually is able to apply to the market in Latin America. There is so many similarity, which we didn't really like think about it before. To our surprise, so eventually Free Fire at the moment, we already service in more than 130 markets across the world. We are number one highest grossing mobile game in Southeast Asia and Latin America. The most downloaded mobile game globally 2 years in a row already. We have more than 500 million registered users, and at the peak, we have like 110 million users on the daily basis. We did many things to understand the market. As I mentioned, like even the market that's so far away from us, like I'm not sure if any of you have ever been to Brazil. We sent a team there just to clearly understand the market, and we found that in order to be success in any market, you need to, localization is really the key. But it's not just that, like we need a global standard, global the service that meet the global standard to serve each market as well in order to win the market. We need to understand what they need. And so you see from this slide, we do many marketing campaign as well, and in each market that we go, we try to see like what's the trend, right? What's the popular things there, and we try to do to serve each market. But at the same time, we also do many campaign that using more like a global celebrities, global trend to show that our game is not just a local, but our game is actually global, like Money Heist, many of you might know. And the latest one that we just launched is the we work with Cristiano Ronaldo, having him in our game. That's the latest initiative that our team is doing that. So for the game business, I think we will surely continue to do so. We still, our team in Shanghai still like continue to develop the game. Free Fire is one game that we focus on at the moment, but at the same time, we're trying to also develop the game that serve other market as well. Then the next one I want to talk about was C-Money, and actually in Thailand, we actually use the name AirPay for our financial business service before, and we just rename it to C-Money because just to make it clearer and easier to communicate to the users. So C-Money, at the very beginning, the beginning of our journey here is just simply an e-wallet platform. We want to basically we want to serve the needs of our gamers. Not sure if Gail mentioned before, but our game revenue model for our game is basically top up, right? I mean, I think many of you, if you're playing game, you're probably aware of that. And in the past, when we enter any market, we don't have our own payment channel, and we need to use the third-party payment channel for that. It's actually okay, right? Because we are eventually you probably need to use like third-party vendor or channels anyway to reach mass, but at the same time we need to make sure that we also have our channel or any way that we can control the things by ourselves, to just in case anything happen to any third party and they don't allow us to do so, then we what to do with our business, right? Because it's such a main thing to get the revenue in for game. And that's actually at the very beginning of AirPay. 80% of our transaction of AirPay in year one, we launched it in year 2014. 80% of our transaction is actually for game top up. And the way we do it is we didn't limit the top up in AirPay for our game only. We actually make it more like a platform for any games top up. So we actually welcome to top up game that is our competitor to Garena as well. So we wanted to separate the business and not making it just purely for Garena. Uh, However, when we continue doing AirPay, we found out that there's such a huge opportunity to capture more the underserved market, because I'm talking about like 2014. At that time, it's like 7 years ago. Not only in Thailand but across the region, there's a low credit card and banking penetration, and there's a big and underserved market. Many mass majority could not access the bank service. Don't have to talk about like applying for a credit card, right? And what to do with that. So we think that we should be able to transform AirPay at that time to serve more unmet needs, not only for game, but any other thing that can make the life of consumer easier. We also look at China market as well our model, right? I think you may see, maybe not so true now, but at that time we saw the trend that anything that happened in China, it's about like 3 or 4 years after what is happened in Southeast Asia. And 2014 at that time, if you're looking back, you saw that like WeChat Pay, Alipay was a big thing in China. It just like become very popular, and we know that that's the trend that is gonna coming into Southeast Asia. So we want to be the very first, or at least a first few batch of people who provide this service, and that's why we transform our AirPay into some other things as well. And of course, our bigger goal at that time was to do the e-commerce business too, and what can go along better, right? Like online shopping and online payment, right? So that's how we want to transform and build AirPay Now SeaMoney to serve e-commerce trend too. So at the moment, if we talk about AirPay, if you're using that, you may know that like we're gonna rebrand AirPay to Shopee Pay soon, actually in a couple of weeks, I think like in 15 March, but we already start communicate to the users. But at the moment, if you look at AirPay and Shopee Pay, it's the same thing now. There's many things that we can do, and main goal is to make sure that the consumers benefit the most, having the most convenience for the users. Whether you're the buyer, the sellers, or you just want to pay the bill, that's the thing that we want to ensure that our platform can serve you guys. And another thing that we focus more is, this is very similar to game strategy as well, that we ensure that we localize our service to serve the needs of each market. For example, like in Thailand, the big thing, like movie is the big thing in Thailand, right? It's not so big in Singapore or other market, but movie is a big thing here. So when we try to add the service into our platform, movie is the first thing in our list, right? To add into that. But if we look at this Shopee Pay AirPay platform in other region, movie is actually not the priority. This is also the way that we localize to serve the local need. At the same time, at the back end, all the technology or the system behind it, we make it at a global standard, because it's the same system that we use in other region as well. So I guess in the short word is like we're still using the same strategy even for the SeaMoney, to localize with the global standard to serve the need of each market. Okay. Yep. So for SeaMoney, the next I think because we just rebranded SeaMoney, and the like I mentioned before, the only thing is to ensure that it's easier to communicate, not just to the consumer, but it's also to the public, because to be more specific, like the investor and the business partner as well. So we kind of like putting everything that related to financial services product under SeaMoney. You may have heard Shopee Pay Later or the loan business. Everything is under SeaMoney. And of course, in the future, we want to add more products into SeaMoney business. anything that related to financial services product, it will be under this. So that is our intention to do in the future. Then the last business that I want to talk is Shopee. Shopee started in 2015, actually launched in the 7 markets across Southeast Asia at once. At the beginning, it's the pure C2C marketplace, but now if you look at Shopee app at the moment, is actually more than just a marketplace. We since day one, we couldn't really call ourselves e-commerce. It's like we didn't feel that we are e-commerce company, but at the moment, with what Shopee is at the moment is purely mainly is the e-commerce business for sure, and we has been transformed quite a lot from day one. E-commerce in Southeast Asia, you may probably know, is still has a strong growth and still have a very big opportunity. Southeast Asia value of e-commerce in 2025 is like more than 150 billion US dollar. In Thailand alone, it could be about 18 billion US dollar. So it's such a huge market. And it's something that like you cannot deny, and any business has to tap in, right? The COVID situation last year, it just like a catalyst, right? Like anyone talk I guess like before 2020, everyone talk about digital online business, selling things online, but nobody really make it a priority until the COVID-19 came up, and then many business kind of like being forced to do so. And I think by doing so, then many also see the benefit, and now everyone make it a priority. So definitely anyone in the business now has to come in, otherwise you could have been left behind basically. Shopee, I think probably don't want to talk much about the function. I guess I hope everyone here used Shopee before, so you probably know. And not sure if you like enjoy any code from the 3333 that we just so hopefully anyone canแบบว่าเก็บโค้ดทันอะไรเงี้ย and use it but I think Shopee also localization is definitely a key. As I mentioned, even though we launched in 7 markets, it's not like one single app. We actually have 7 apps for each market. And why we have to do so is actually use more resources, right? I mean, for the engineering team, for the dev team to do 7 apps instead of doing 1 app, as well as maintenance and everything behind the scene as well. But as I mentioned, localization is something that we see is very important. We saw that from game business, and it's also very true for the e-commerce business as well. So in every country that we go, we localize it. Languages is one thing, but it's not just language, it's actually more than that, right? The campaign, the trend, the popularity of each product in each market at each time is also different. So it's very important to have the local team sitting there and try to understand the local need and understand the trend that happened in each market at that specific time, right? And at the same time, as I mentioned before, Shopee's day one was mainly C2C marketplace, and we had the reason to start as a C2C marketplace because first of all, it's the asset light. We don't need to carry anything. We don't have any inventory. You have a very low cost at the beginning, and that's very important. Like when you start the business and you're still like exploring on like what you want to do with it, right? You had no idea what it was like, and you try to figure out how to do it. So keep it lean, keep it low cost is very important. Along the way though, we start to understand the market, we start to understand the industry, we start to see the demand from both buyer and sellers, and we need to adjust our business model basically to serve the needs of partner, buyer and sellers. So fulfillment is actually one big thing for e-commerce, and that's the main reason why we had to have the warehouse. We have the sourcing center. We also doing Shopee Express, which is the logistic, mainly to serve Shopee order only. We're not open for any other. We not serve others basically. Why we need to do that is simply because, as I mentioned before, we understand the demand, we understand the local needs, and not every needs or demand can be served by the third party. Of course, logistic, we cannot just do Shopee Express and ship everything by ourselves, because there's no way we can cover the entire country, right? So we need to work with third party logistic for sure. However, there's a specific demand or specific service that we want to offer, which third-party logistic couldn't do, and therefore we had to do it ourselves, and that's the reason why we need to have a Shopee Express. The warehouse and sourcing center, of course, is something that we do to also help the sellers to grow. We have the warehouse management. Many sellers, which is the top sellers, they can sell a lot of things, but they have the limitation to grow their business further. Either don't have space to keep their inventory, don't know how to manage bigger inventory. Sometimes it's also can be don't have money, right? So we have this warehouse and sourcing center to also serve that purpose for that specific sellers, and we also have the lending service to offer to them so that they can grow with us as well. And it's very important to grow the ecosystem because as a platform, if you only focus on growing your own platform and you don't think about like others, how others can grow, eventually your platform will be just empty platform, right? Because like no other people cannot grow with us, then how can we sustain or maintain our service further? So very important to understand the need and make sure that everyone in the ecosystem can grow with us. That's also very important. We constantly innovate our platform to engage users. Our goal is we don't want people to just when we think they want to buy something, then they log on and they open the app, right? We want to make sure that they have more reason to open our app and more engaging to our apps, and that's why we have like using the gamification, Shopee games, Shopee Farm and those stuff. If you come in, you get free coin. You can use the Shopee Live. This is another way to engage people, not only in Thailand but Southeast Asia population. In many countries, they also love watching live. Shopee Feed is also another feature that we want to engage to make sure that people come in often, right? That's how we want to engage that. However, all of these products that I'm talking about, right? Actually the team that developed this product is actually based in Singapore. So it's very important for our product team to work closely with our local team to make sure that when they develop the product to serve, it's actually to develop it in the right way, right? It's not just like sitting in Singapore and they can just simply develop the product that can serve the local needs. So very important for them to communicate and work closely with the local team.